Okay, people. Um, yeah, this week, man, I got to check out a new film. Huh? Yeah, film documentary. It's a kind of a hybrid affair, right? All came about, you know, on the new year, essentially, because the delightful AJ Furman, she hit me up and said she was gonna send me something interesting, and she really did. Because people, I got to watch Delicate State, right? Which is the new film from Paula Rhodes, right? She actually, well, it's a directorial debut, you know, a directorial debut, which she did while pregnant. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it is super interesting. I definitely, I feel misconstrued what it was, right? Well, when I say that, I think I thought that some, well, some of it was, speaking metaphorically, which it was not. But listen, yeah, that sounds rather vague, right? But you'll understand. You will understand, people. But yes, so um, it's a very small crew. So Paula, she directs, produces. Um, Charlie Bowden, her partner, her husband, he did all the camera work and the sound, the DIT, all of that business. It's edited by Rachel Henry. Um, VFX is handled by David Matty, and the crew at Dormant Lion Entertainment. That's not a bad name for a company, right? Dormant Lion. Yeah. And for a low budget film, the effects were good, right? There's definitely a scene an hour in with the house that I was like, how the fuck did they do that? Right? Because yeah, it looks super real. Um, Color grading and all of that was handled by Jared Hoy and the peoples at EXO Productions, Post Productions. KO Creative, yeah, they did the mixing. Rob Goki, he composed the music, right? And our cast, as I said, it's not a huge one. We had Paula. She plays a character called Paula. Charlie plays a character called Charlie. We got Glenn Morshower. He plays Glenn. Kathy Barron plays Kathy. And Domino the cat plays Domino the cat. So yeah, that was the cast. Now there's other people involved because there's a gang scene and a hospital and all of that. So yeah, there was more people, but yeah, that was our main characters. So the gist, right? This was shot over the course of their actual pregnancy, with the leads doubling as a two-person crew. Paula and Charlie document their impending parenthood during a time of extreme political division. Their heads remain in the sand about the greater world around them until it upends their privileged life. Now they must navigate the loss of a loved one, the destruction of their home, and the ruins of their health care system, and the nation's most vulnerable moment. right? Shot mostly in 2015 when such events seemed like a pure fiction. Delicate State extended filming to document the ensuing nationwide protests, political conversations, uprisings, and lockdowns as their original outline continued to spiral into reality. So yeah, that's the film. And when I say I mistook what this was, right? Now, what I mean is, right, because in some of the synopsises, right, there's talk of civil war. And so I was like, oh, do they mean this metaphorical civil war, right? And because when you look at things like people of political leanings were kind of going at each other and all of that. So I'm thinking that's what they're meaning. But no, no, this actually, gets into that, right? Which you're like, oh, yeah, I wasn't expecting that, right? Now, well, the other thing that I thought was real interesting because again, I just thought it kind of came from them just by incidents deciding to document, the baby and all of that kind of jazz, right? And then they were like, oh, let's repurpose this and create something. But no, I don't think it was. But no, it is definitely interesting. Definitely interesting because I think although what I mean, it's planned out, right? I think there are these things that you kind of look at and you're like, oh no, I feel that is real, right? This is a real kind of emotion, a real thing that's coming across. And yeah, it's because at the beginning they're very happy and it's all like, hey, let's do this and blah blah blah. Hey, baby, and just all of that, stuff. But they also do show some of the crazy shit, right? Like when she's just crying about something that's just like, wait, what? What the fuck? That's nothing. Like, why are you crying about that? Right? That makes no sense. Makes no sense. Uh, but yeah, the film, but you see some interaction with her sister, and that's again, I'm thinking that this interaction, it's just kind of show those different political leanings and viewpoints, conspiracy theories, and all of that. But no, it is the Harringer, harbinger of what was to come, as it were. I feel I did use that word correctly. I may not have, but hey ho. But yeah. So right, the film gets to this point, and then it suddenly, starts to get crazy, right? Certain things go down, and at first you're thinking, all right, well, yeah, no, like things blow up, and that could be just a general, but then it's just like, hold on, I think this is going somewhere else, right? I mean, this is going somewhere I didn't expect it to go. I will say, these these individuals, Paula and Charlie, Jesus Christ, these motherfuckers are lucky to get as far as they get because boy, they are, oh man, like I don't know what you would call them, naive, delusional. There's just shit that they do, and you're just like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. You do not do that. Right? Like, how many films, right? Films, books, TV shows. Like, there's certain things that, hey, even though we ain't lived it, surely you have an idea that this ain't the thing to do, right? This ain't the thing to do. But yeah, no, we see him make a whole heap of mistakes. They meet different people who have views. I will say, when they did meet Glenn, I kind of felt Glenn is the type of person who he ain't holding back on the things he's saying, right? Some of the stuff he said, you feel, I feel you'd go further, right? I don't think someone like that is holding back at all. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's I feel that's just a minor thing. It's yeah, it's interesting, man. It is. I was intrigued all the way through. I was just like, all right, where is this gonna go? Right? What is going to happen to these people? Because I don't know if they're equipped to handle this shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, we get to see all of it. And I think even at the end, it is like, oh, I wonder, yeah, I wonder where this does go, right? Because with everything falling apart, right? Health systems, like infrastructures, that does kind of take things all the way back, right? It takes things to power is controlled by the people with the strength, right? So, I think we do see a point, guns give you power, right? Weapons give you that strength. So, bringing a kid into the world, it's an interesting thing. It is an interesting thing. Now, they do make this point, right? Um, in the blurb we're given, right? Paula says women well, I probably should get the first bit, right? Talk about a labor of love, right? What started as a way to keep my creative sanity as my belly grew and auditions dwindled, developed into a peak through a thinning veil of possibility as America pushed towards a dangerous ledge. I was seeing the term civil war tossed around more frequently in social and mainstream media, and I realized people, especially men, weren't taking to heart all that entailed. That was 2015. I had no idea how close this film would veer towards becoming a documentary. All right. Women in general tend to not choose war. And as my impending motherhood grew closer, I truly began to grasp why. I do find that interesting because I, I don't know how true that is, right? I definitely think that a lot of women do, motherhood does change how they see things and all of that. But there's some crazy broads out there who have definitely pushed for war. I mean, Hillary Clinton for one, right? you know, you know what I mean? So yeah, like it is interesting. Um, as I said, like how this came about, but one thing, and it's what they do mention as well, that it doesn't necessarily like lean one way, right? I think it does kind of walk that line through the middle. Um, yeah, we're essentially just following two parents, you know? So yeah, I think if you're left or right or whatever the fuck, man, you know, I think you could find this interesting because it is interesting, right? Now it's out on the 4th, uh, so you can get it from all your favorite VODs, people. So yeah, if you are intrigued by like political commentary, right? I mean, we looked at that documentary last year about the different political parties and stuff in the States. I forget it's something like In America or something like that, right? Remember? But yeah, if you like stuff like that, I do feel that delicate states will speak to you. You know, it is definitely, man, as a you know, I feel I say it all the time, but as a directorial debut, hey, very solid. And it'll be interesting to see what Paula does next, and if she ropes Charlie in to help her out. But yeah, delicate states, people, it is out right now.